Hello everyone, welcome to the second edition of the Gurumantra podcast. And here is your Guru Charan Kumar. Today we have a special student guest who is she very close my heart, and she is one of the topper in my ESS students. Nithya Chaugh, who scored 7 point in ESS and total 36 points to the IB board exam. Listeners, I just want to give a small introduction to Nitya. She is another very hard-working student in the class of the 2022. She has done many kind of the work along with me for the past 2 years. The one important thing which attracts the Nitya for all the teacher, her big smile. Nitya is good in academic also and non-academic. She's good in sports. She's good in social service activities, and also she's good in academic. Nitya, welcome to the Gurumantra podcast, and please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you so much for having me, Guru sir. Hi guys, I'm Nithya Chaugh, and I've been a part of Pathway since 2016. Entering into DP was very scary, and studying all these subjects was extremely scary at the beginning. But Guru sir has helped me throughout, and these 2 years and scoring a 7 point in ESS would not have been possible without him. And yes, all thanks to Mr. Guru Charan for his help into achieving in ESS.
Thank you, Nitya. So, Nitya, we will go first some of the question to the ESS paper 1. Can you tell, Nitya, how you should actually prepare for the paper 1 for 1 hour reading them? How did you manage the paper 1 within 1 hour?
So basically, in the 5-minute reading time which we get, I always went through the case study within the 5 minutes, and also went through the 6-marker question in detail. I try to understand the question in depth because the 6-marker holds the most weightage. So in the reading time, go through the case study nicely and just go through the questions first, but focus more on the 6-marker question.
That's a brilliant. So how did you practice for the paper 1 to score 7 in the ESS?
So for me, time management was always an issue, and I always used to ask sir about how I should manage time. And the only solution which helped me and which sir suggested was to practice a lot of different papers and always time yourself with it. So we used to practice papers and we used to time ourselves, and we used to get it checked by sir, which helped us improve and score better. Always just look at the case study for 5 minutes and then time yourself for 1 hour, and then revise the paper in last 5 minutes. This will help you manage the time and also overcome any mistakes which you have done in the question.
Nitya, I still remember you always come to my class. You ask me, sir, can I get a past paper? I want a revision sheet. How did you prepare the answer for this kind of question? So, based on your personal experience, can you tell on what basis did you choose a specific or differentiated answer for the given question to ensure on the paper 1 it included in the marking scheme?
So practicing past papers from ESS Gurumantra was the thing which we were following since 11th grade, and to always ensure that my answer is correct, we used to always give, for example, if the question is for 2 marks, I used to give 4 points for the question to be secure and give the examiner a choice to choose from, because you don't know what is the answer in the marking scheme. So in order to be sure from your side, we used to, like, for 2-mark question, we used to give 4 points for the particular question.
Oh, that's a pinpoint answer. The data booklet, it usually takes a time to read for every student, especially ESS. Are there any tips on how to read the data booklet effectively and save the time?
So basically, as I said before, that in the 5-minute reading time, just go through the case study as well as the question paper. So the particular question which is asked from the case study, you should just keep a look on that particular figure, graph or paragraph or image in the case study and focus more on that. So side by side in the reading time, check the question which focuses on which part of the case study and focus more on the part which is connected to the question.
The first 5 minutes plays and very important. So Nitya, you got a 7 in ESS. So can you tell 2 tips to achieve a 7 point on the ESS paper 1?
The most important thing, I think, is doing your best in the 6-marker, because 6-marker holds the most weightage in paper 1. And start with doing the 6-marker, then go to the other questions. Also, always remember the last 5 minutes are very important, because in the last 5 minutes, you will always understand if any keyword is missing or anything you can add on. So always give the last 5 minutes to reaching the paper and reading through your answers to know if something is missing or not.
Oh, that's a brilliant. So, Nitya, now we are moving some of the questions related to ESS paper. So, can you tell how did you choose between the essay question in paper 1? On what basis you select the essay question on the paper 2?
For paper 2, I always chose the essay question based on the 9 marker. I always looked at the 9 marker first because 9 marker is the question with the most weightage and it requires the most time and effort put in that particular part of the essay question. So always choose your essay question based on the 9 marker. If you know that well, then you can do the other questions also well because they're always a little interconnected. So knowing the 9 marker is the key to choosing the essay question.
That's a good answer. So Nitya, to get a 7 in ESS, you have to score a good mark on the paper 2, which carries a 50%. So what method did you use to study for the paper 2 to get a score 7 in the ESS?
So for my paper 2, I always went to ESS Gurumantra. And so for essay questions, it's very good to include examples in your 9 marker. So I always looked through a lot of case studies on ESS Gurumantra, different examples which I can include in my answer, and also understood the importance of the key term and what the question is asking. So I got help from ESS Gurumantra, a lot of help from ESS Gurumantra, and looking at the various worksheets and what the question requires helped me score a 7.
Thank you for using Gurumantra effectively. I'm very happy you scored using the gurumantra.com. So Nithya, what method did you use to improve your critical thinking for paper 2? Because paper 2 requires a lot of critical thinking on your answer on the essay question. So can you tell to our listener the method you used to improve your critical thinking?
So as I said before, including personal opinions in the 9 marker is important. So every time before an exam, Guru Sir used to send us some links and some blogs with personal viewpoints of different writers. So going through them before the exam really helped me understand different viewpoints, and with the help of that, my critical thinking enhanced. And reading those blogs right before the exam helped me and various different aspects of a particular topic, with the help of which I was able to do the essay question better.
Good. So, how a past paper in ESS helped you to study to get a good mark in the paper 2?
According to me, past papers are the best resource to study from. First of all, looking at the marking scheme of different question papers from different years help you understand what the examiner is looking for. And the past papers basically also help you understand what kind of questions can come and what is expected out of you from that particular question. So reading through the marking scheme and reading through comments by the examiner on the marking scheme will help you know what you have to do in the paper. So always go through the past papers before the exam.
So Nitya, 2 tips someone who want to achieve a 7 point in ESS paper 2 for the DP 1 or 2 ESS students. So what is the 2 tip you will give?
I would give that always do the essay questions first, as they are very time consuming. Get done with the essay questions, but also leave enough time for your database questions because even they require some time. But always start with the essay questions and then go to the database questions. Also, for the essay questions, always give introduction and conclusion for 7 marker and 9 marker. This will help you score better and just manage your time well.
Good. Managing the time on paper 2 is very important.
Yes.
So Nitya, now we are going some of the questions related to ESS IA. I still remember how many feedbacks, and you always actually come and ask every time, so how to improve it. I've seen the thirst to get a 7 in grade 11 itself for the ESS IA. So can you tell, what do you think is the most important tip to consider before starting the ESS IA?
The most important tip is choosing a topic which you think you can go with for 2 whole years. Choosing a topic in which there's enough details available in which you're confident that you will get information and you will collect data is the most important tip before starting your SSIA.
That's interesting. So Nithya, can you tell how students can find the relevant data for your research question, and how did you find relevant data for your research question?
So basically for my SSIA, I did a survey-based question as we did not do in practical field trip, and we were asked to do on our own either primary, secondary research from the internet. But I chose to do a survey-based question where I personally went and visited the villages as it was a part of my research question to collect the relevant data. It was hard at first, but after a while I got the hang of it and I was able to collect relevant data by organizing and managing the different questions which I had to ask.
Oh, that's interesting. So Nithya, can you tell what was the most difficult part of your ESSIA and how did you overcome it?
Mentioned that relevant data collecting is tough. So even I think it was.
So Nithya, can you tell what was the most difficult part of ESSIA and how did you overcome it?
As I just mentioned that collecting relevant data is a little at the beginning, and even I faced difficulty at collecting and organizing tables and at the beginning. But after you look at different sample IAs and take help from sir, it is easy at the end. But according to me, it was a little bit difficult in the starting to organize data in different tables.
Good. So organizing data was a difficult part.
Yeah.
So my last question related to IA. Can you tell 2 tips to achieve the 7 point on the ESSIA?
In order to achieve 7 point in ESSIA, always look through different sample IAs and look through how they have, done their research question. Also, always ask for feedback and always try to work on it, like improve on the feedbacks all the time and start your, don't leave things for the end moment. Always get done with it. When you get feedback, just work on the feedback that moment in class and just get it checked by sir if it's right. Because this will be very helpful at the end. At the end, you won't have to work on the whole IA feedback. So keep working on feedback side by side and keeping up with the work and feedback sir provides you.
Brilliant. So I have some last couple of questions. Nithya, can you tell
Yes.
how the DP ESS subject is different from other IB subject in your 2 years of journey?
ESS used to always be my favorite class and I used to always look forward to going. First of all, because we learned about things which are, happening around us, and it's very easy to understand different topics which are, which you can see and which you can understand about easily. And our ESS classes were so interactive that we used to always bring up different things in class and talk about all the things in the world actually, which actually made us look forward to the class and which made it different from every other class where we used to just sit and study. But here we used to have conversations, have debates on different things, which made it very interesting.
Brilliant. That is also happening now also for grade 11. I still remember Nithya, you, Sia, Ansh, you never miss any kind of tech classes, even though, less students, people always come and attend the ESS class. So can you tell how attendance of a students in a class is very important to contribute to get a 7 point in ESS?
So, as I just mentioned that classes are so interesting. So every class had something new to learn about. So if you miss a class, you're behind on something, and the next class you just feel lost. So it is very important to be punctual and to keep up with everything that's happening in class, because if you miss one class, then you won't understand what topic we're studying in the next class, because it's all interconnected. Like every unit in ESS is interconnecting, and understanding every single part of the unit is very important to understand the subject as a whole. So punctuality is extremely important in an ESS class, because you will never ever be able to understand the same topic again yourself. It's important to have everybody's viewpoint on it. What is happening in class helps you understand the topic much better.
So Nitya, I have a last question which is related to your college application. So can you tell our audience where you are going, which country, and what you are going to study?
I'm going to City University London based business school, and I'm going to be doing business management as my major subject.
So Nitya,
yes.
Can you tell 2 tips for a DP student to write their best college applications?
Always be yourself and write about colleges. Don't look at your English or something very over the top, but always look at what you really feel and be original, and always write about something which is very realistic, and let them know the real you. it's always better to be yourself, which will help you. Yeah.
Brilliant. So be real with you. That's the best college
Yes.
application advice. So Nitya, thank you very much for coming for the Guru Mantra podcast. And
Thank you so much for having me, sir. It's always a pleasure.